isn't just a niche with gender conversations. It includes every single thing we report on. So when we start to, so that's how I had a mentor who I worked with at Women Radio, Oreoluwa. I adopted this from her. And till now, I no longer work there. It's the same for me everywhere I go. Every time we're picking, you know, panelists for anything, every time I'm working with filmmakers, every time I'm supposed to commission writers, I have to ensure that women are included in what I do, and this is like equitable solutions for us now. This time, at this century that we are in, that is very pivotal towards gender equality. And so that's what we can do as individuals and individuals in our business, in our businesses and in our homes and in our classrooms. Teachers can always ensure that the girls are included when it seems like it's only the boys that are getting in. And that's just as simple as it goes, just making a decision. But we can't fight gender inequality with simply making a decision. Policies have to render gender inequality obsolete. I learned this one from one of the governorship candidates recently. I enjoyed what he said. He says, sometimes you can't fight a system, you just have to create another system that will render the other one obsolete. So people don't have to lean on patriarchy as a system anymore if we have a more gender equal society that is very functional and very effective. Why then do we have to fall back to patriarchy? And so this is where systems come into place. This is where political holders come into place. This is where business owners come into place. You have to have internal policies, not the one that is checkmated by the government. When the post sex for grades, the government has been trying to push the sex for marks bill, but I'm like, universities internally, you don't have to wait for the government to push a sex for marks bill. You can have your own internal policy against sexual harassment. And so this is where the political will of politicians, of business owners come into play. And finally, my own small bit that I'm doing is documenting women, because women have been so erased from history. Even tech bros these days find it difficult to imagine that women were at the forefront of tech history. They argue with you. These are tech, intelligent men in tech that are supposed to know better, don't even know that women were responsible even for sending the first man on the moon, the first man on the moon into space. So we need to document every single thing that women are doing, spotlight them, and ensure that the world knows that women belong in society and they have a place in society.
Wow, that's amazing, Kiki. And I really like the point that you made about how these universities can also take an initiative. But this sometimes bring a new different question, right? Where you have men in these positions of authority, right? And we are asking them to make the changes that are, quote unquote, not suitable for them. And that's when you see a lot of them acting as if they don't know what to do, but they do know what to do. They just know that once they take that step, they have less space for how do you call it, oppression. Kiki, we also noticed that your sound wasn't so great. I see a lot of chats coming in about your network being bad and people can't really hear you properly.
I don't know if it's better because I just took out my AirPods. I was wondering if that was the cause.
Yes, I think it's much better now. I think it's much better. Moving on to Dr. Loretta, what is your own mindset around this question? What is your breakdown of your idea geared towards gender equality? What does that look like for you?
Okay. Thank you very much. It's really a pleasure to be part of this webinar today. We at EcoBank, and I'm on my own behalf, we join the rest of the world to wish everyone gathered here and to the rest of the world out there a happy International Women's Day. I want to say that nothing could be more relevant for women entrepreneurs of today who are charting unknown territories relevantly and fearlessly, be it in commerce, education, fashion, retail, fitness, job creation, agriculture, among others. women are proceeding with smartness and unrestrained enthusiasm to change the world around them, making a difference with their ideas, technology, seeking solutions that have never been sought, fighting diseases and even social norms. COVID-19 has taught us better. And these women are running successful ventures, generating employment for many, and giving rise to new sustainable ecosystems. So for me, this is what gender equality seeks to bring about. If women are given the opportunity to do what they do best, and it's not even equality we are talking about, but it's equity, you know, where we all have fairness in the system that we operate with. So for me, it is about gender equity and equality, so that we are saying that let there be equal share. We are not going to be giving seats at the table because we want more women at the table, but because we are competent enough to run the business, because we have great ideas to contribute to the table. And that is the essence of we at EcoBank even creating the Elevate test or bringing about the Elevate initiative. I believe we'll talk about it in due course, but for me, this is what equality and equity means: giving equal opportunity to operate and to learn and to share ideas and to participate fully in bringing change and sustainable ecosystems. Thank you very much.
That's really great. I mean, I know this might be a little bit off our time, but I'd like you to talk a little bit more on Elevate Desk, because I know that we've heard so much about it and how it's empowering women-focused businesses. Can you just shed more light on what that is?
Okay. So again, EcoBank, knowing the importance women are in the society, set up the Elevate initiative, and it is designed to support any one of these four categories I'm going to mention: women who own businesses or even jointly owned, with 51% being women; any business that is being managed by a woman qualifies to be under the Elevate initiative. So it could be a male-owned business, but once it is being managed by a woman, it qualifies to be under the Elevate initiative. Any business with 30% or more as female employees also qualifies to be under the Elevate initiative. And then any company that is producing goods or services for women, so including beauty and hair products, corporate fashion wear, cosmetics, jewelry, among other sanitary products, it qualifies. So anyone, ownership, management, employment, production, any one of these makes the entrepreneur to qualify under the Elevate initiative. Our value proposition under the Elevate initiative is to offer these women-owned, women-focused businesses end-to-end partnership, which they can gain access to both financial and non-financial services. So it's a wide range of products combining innovative treasury and cash management solutions, discounted financing, value-added services to deliver what their business need to do at exactly the right time. So we have digital solutions where we create enabling collection and payment solutions to help entrepreneurs and businesses to make convenient payments and even receive from any business venture that they are doing. We have lending products, that's the financial support that I talked about, with favorable interest rates. So once you qualify to be under the Elevate initiative, we have favorable lending products that support you to elevate, grow, expand, scale up your businesses. We also have the non-financial bit, where we do capacity building, training. We give access to markets through our digital solutions again. So we have what we call the Digi Store or Google My Business platforms, and we create networking opportunities for our Elevate customers. And so you will see on the call, we have Vivian from Focus Orthopedic, an Elevate customer on the call today. I believe she will have her section to talk about what they do. So she is an Elevate customer because they are focused on women And so that is what we do in SAM. We give financial and non-financial support to our customers who are owning businesses, managing businesses, having employers, female dominating, and then who are producing for women. And that is what we seek to do and provide under the Elevate initiative. Thank you.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. I guess we'll talk a little bit more about that and maybe how people can reach out and get more information and sign up or any other thing that's necessary to benefit from Elevate. Okay, moving on to Oreoluwa. Talk to us. What is your own ideas? What are your ideas towards gender equality? What do they look like?
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. So I founded an organization 15 years ago called the Women's Technology Empowerment Center that is aimed at helping to close the gender gap in technology. A very big and audacious goal. And when we started, I think even we didn't realize, how vast the issue was. We saw the data out in the US and in other parts of the world. And here in Nigeria, there wasn't so much available data when we started. But there was a lot of anecdotal evidence to show that women are not playing in the tech space as much as guys. And I'm sure even today, 15 years later, we can still see that. I'm sure we can count on the number of fingers on one hand, maybe how many tech people there are in any given company. But it's changing. It's definitely changing. But we realized that up to the age of about 10, 11, 12, but maybe about 12, girls and boys was equally interested in maths and sciences. But then something happened after that, some shift where you started seeing girls were getting turned off maths subjects, science subjects. And consequently, when it came time to picking careers, fewer women were picking careers related to science and tech than boys were. And it's very easy to say, well, maybe, they're just not interested. But the issue is bigger than that. There's a lot of socialization that, of course, affects how we are raised. And we take on ideas, we have goals and plans that we think are our own, but we don't realize that we've been kind of shaped into those paths. So a lot of girls I speak to in the course of my work would say, no, I don't want to study engineering because it's 5 years, it's too long. I need to get out and get married and start having children. No, I don't want to study computer science because it's going to be very hard. I need to be strong. It needs physical strength. They have ideas that are not necessarily based in the reality, but it's based on either things they have been told, general biases, against these subjects, ideas, from parents, from family, from society, from popular culture about what are appropriate jobs for girls and what are appropriate jobs for boys. So for me, a society that is gender equal would be a society where both girls and boys have equal access to opportunities and to resources, where we are not even celebrating a day like this, International Women's Day, that is focused on closing the gender gap, because there would be no gender gap in technology. You'd have 50% male, 50% women, roughly. You would see very visibly women in tech roles. Right now we have some shining stars, but still they are in the minority. And a lot of times we hold that minority, we hold those outliers and say, oh, there are women in tech, there's no problem. But there really are a lot of systemic challenges in the society that need to be overcome. So I think when we get to the point where men and women, people of different cultural, religious backgrounds are equally involved in creating, in building the technology that we're all using, I think, we would get to a point where we can say that things are more gender equal. I also go along with Dr. Loretta that, gender equality is not really a thing, but gender equity is, because we're all different. Even women are different from each other. Guys are different from each other. But what matters is the equity of the outcomes, and also being able to have access to the opportunities. So girls can study science without any shame. Girls can study engineering without any shame. But boys can also decide to study nursing, without any shame, or decide that, oh, I want to become an interior decorator and no one is going to make fun of you. I think then we'll be looking at a more gender equal.
I think it's been, I would like Dr. Karen go before I make my comment. Dr. Karen, please. What are your thoughts?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak here. It's amazing meeting other women in the space across. So I get to meet people actually in other countries and also within Ghana. It's a wonderful platform for all of us to share. So International Women's Day is something that I feel a bit sad that we have to celebrate, because it means that there's still a lot of work to be done. It means that we don't live in an equal society and we have to take a whole day each year to make a lot of noise. It is a good time though for us women, because it helps us to come together, band together, and express exactly what we want. So if we're talking about gender equality, to me, it means that there should be equal accessibility and opportunities at all levels. So equality means sameness. So on a social level, cultural level, financial level, there should be equal accessibility for everyone. There's a lot of change going on now and a lot of innovation geared towards this. So there are certain steps that need to be taken in order to achieve all this equality that we're talking about, because we can spend one day talking about it, but if there isn't any action, then all the talk and all the celebration means nothing. Even though it's International Women's Day and we are putting the spotlight on amazing stories about women, let's remember the day-to-day struggles of just being a woman. Not all of us are going to have amazing stories. Not all of us are going to achieve milestones, but life in itself, going through as a woman, is a milestone, because there are day-to-day struggles on every level, right from the domestic level. You go out of your house, financially, socially, culturally. So let's not only put the spotlight on the amazing stories. Everyone's story is amazing, because we've come a long way from the struggles from back then, where women were not even allowed to wear trousers or pants. So just that alone is an amazing achievement. So, innovative technologies in meeting the health needs. For me, I'll start with health, because it's a basic right. So there's a wide gap in accessibility of healthcare for women. There's not enough information out there. So we need to find more and more innovative technologies. Like what mPharma is doing is really good, because it's bridging an actual gap through technology. So it's a digital means of bridging it, even though it's for both males and females. Doing something like this makes it a step more achievable for more women to achieve good health. So all these things help to bridge the gap and help with the health needs of girls and women. We realize also that there are inadequate infrastructures all around, especially where we are in our side of the world. There's lack of digital skills for the internet, and that's like a basic skill elsewhere. So what Oreoluwa is doing is really amazing, because it's going to encompass a group of people who can in turn impact society with what they've picked up and learned. So much bias currently running around with science, even up to now, science and maths. And let's not forget that arts is also a science. So when we say science and maths, we're not leaving out the arts as well. So girls need to be encouraged more. They need to see more faces in the space. That's a very important thing. If you speak to most people, the reason why they went on to do something was because they identified a face. Either they could relate to the person on the basis of the color of their skin, their religion. Yes, those things are there. They are biases, but we need to be able to relate inwardly with someone in order to express the positive values that we've picked up from them. So it's very important for us now, finding ourselves in the space, to not shy away or feel like we are not enough, because you might think that what you have achieved is not enough, you need to do more. But to some little girl somewhere, it's enough to motivate her to come out of her shell. And someday she'll say, oh, I saw Kiki, and that's why I'm doing this. So we need to be able to use these platforms we have available to shine the light on whatever we've done and to pull along other girls. Then also we need to do things like creating awareness that there's a gender divide. We don't need to keep quiet about it. And not just today, but on all other days. We shouldn't forget 8th March. We should continue to every day try to bridge this gender divide or gap. And you've already mentioned promoting and encouraging women and girls participation in science and technology. And then I'd like to talk about my space. So I use the digital space to create awareness about women's health and to bridge the gap in the knowledge and information available. So through social media, Instagram, YouTube, very soon blogging, and then participating in webinars and health talks just like these ones. So I'm always open to show that there's a platform where women can have empathic healthcare, where their problems will not be dismissed. And once women have the knowledge about their health and their bodies, it's very empowering. When somebody realizes that, this is why my body works this way, it's very empowering. So having services or digital spaces to emphasize on women's health is very important. And then lastly, I'd like to talk about this. So collaborations are very important. We need to pull each other along. The men are not going to do it. We can do it. So when we create spaces like this, it's very empowering for ourselves and for other people watching. And women have very great ideas. If you look at all the big tech companies, you realize that women working underground, bringing up all these innovative stuff is the way forward. So collaborations at every level are very important. And I would like to say to Dr. Loretta, I'm very excited about Elevate. I haven't heard much about it until now. I haven't been around much, but I'm very excited, like listening to you. And I mean, if you're looking for a face or a brand ambassador for Elevate, I will be very happy to participate. So,
going to sign you on.
Pardon me?
I'm going to sign you on, don't worry.
Oh, yes, I'll be very happy to be part of your products. And also, to everyone listening, the audience, and even the speakers, we need to come together. We can do it. We'll be a force to reckon with. So at every opportunity, women need to pull each other along, and that's the way forward. So that's my idea of what gender equality should be like and the way forward, how we'll achieve this. I think I've spoken a lot.
Well, thank you so much. I think every one of you is giving like very beautiful insights in the different spaces that you're existing. You know, starting with Kiki talking about documenting women's stories and, you know, bringing that to the forefront of the media and on different platforms. To Dr. Loretta talking about Elevate Dex and how it's empowering women-focused businesses within the 4 important pillars that she has mentioned. And Dr. Oreoluwa also talking about W.TEC, which I think even till now, like you're so right, there's still such a gap, right? There's still such a gap. I know I can count on my finger how many software developers are women that I know of, and I know how many men that I know are definitely devs. And just making sure that we as a whole are consistently changing the narrative is extremely important. We spent quite a while on this question, but let's move on. I think the first question I have, again, we'll go back to Kiki. What prompted you to start Document Women in particular right now?
I was at a conference, and there was a slide that was played about women in leadership, and the question was the question stayed with me a lot. They were like, how many women do we have? A lot of women in leadership? And everyone was like, no. Okay, but we do have some women, right? Can you name them? And it's like, okay. I can't name them because the media has lumped all the women in different leadership positions into women leaders. So women leader, we just like when a woman is a leader, she's a woman leader. She's not her name. She's not Obama. She's not Buhari. She's never her name. She's always the woman leader, the female president, And so that was a light bulb moment for me, to just like realize that even though I was a person who was always fighting for equality, there was still something that I was doing wrong. I wasn't recognizing the women in the stories and naming them. And so I knew that at that point, a movement needed to be started. It started as a hashtag, to be honest. We started as a hashtag. Like there's stories about women in your family. Share those women's stories under the hashtag document women. And that prompted me to speak to my mom. And my mom that I've known for all my life, I was surprised to hear some stories about the Biafran War. Like, why haven't you told me these things since? I spoke to my grandma. She told me different stories of how she traveled to Cameroon. I'm like, this is a great woman. My mom was one of the first women to compete against men in handball in Ibadan. Like, what? Do you understand? So I just, it progressed from there until, I did a documentary. And then from there, I myself and a couple people came together and were like, we need to holistically come together and do this for posterity's sake. And that was how we, started growing Document Women.
I think Document Women is a very interesting, it's simple, really, and the idea itself, it's simple, but it's just something that would you think about, like, to have a platform that is focused on talking about women's achievement, right? It's like, it makes sense, but like,
yeah, why haven't we been doing it, right?
Exactly, yeah, like, why is this new? I really, really, really admire what you guys are doing to Document Women. I think it's really phenomenal. I want to move on, but I don't know if any of the speakers feel like they also want to talk about this question. If there's something that you're doing, like, I don't know, Ms. Oreoluwa, maybe you want to talk about what prompted you to start W.TEC? I don't know.
All right, thank you. Yes, I can do that. Okay, so I think what Kiki is doing is amazing. Honestly, I think there's so many stories that are there and we just don't know about it. And I'd like to find out more about what you're doing afterwards and see maybe, there are ways to document, women's stories, especially in science and tech. I've been thinking about that, actually, writing a book about women in science and tech.
We have a column that is specifically dedicated to women in tech, women in STEM. It's called the Stack Journal. Everything you want to learn about women in tech, obviously focusing on African women, but worldwide. So absolutely excited to collaborate in any way.
Awesome. I'll reach out to you afterwards. So I grew up with really powerful role models, and that also shows the power of role models in your life. My mom was a civil engineer. She's retired now. And my dad was an electrical engineer. So I grew up in a very scientific household. And there was never anything that I couldn't do. Nothing was out of reach for me. I was expected to do well at maths. I was expected to do well at sciences. And that really has a power on a young girl. When you feel like you don't have any excuses, you kind of rise up and you kind of take it for granted. And then I went to an all-girls school as well, where excellence was expected. And so when I was going through secondary school and I was really confused about what I wanted to do, but I was pretty sure I wasn't going to be engineering because both my parents were engineers. And I wanted to find my own path and do something different. And funny enough, here I am in tech. But I went to computer school after secondary school, and that was when I really learned about computers and what they could do. And I just started thinking that, I think more women need to know how to use computers. And that's basically where it started from, a very simple idea. When I was in university, I started a business typing essays for other students, and I was making money. Like my other friends, in uni were maybe waitressing, they were working in shops, they were doing like things that require them to be on their feet for long hours. But I was sitting in a comfortable chair in my room typing, and I made money from that. And even at that age, I was already aware of the differences between men and women's lives. I knew that, there was a lot that was expected of women. Women go to work, but they come back home and they're still expected to either cook or supervise the cook, make sure the children have done their homework, make sure the household is in order, like so many hats we wear. And I had already started thinking about, I wonder how tech can actually help women be more efficient, live like, less stressed lives, and be financially empowered. And really, that's where it started from. And so for my master's, I focused on looking at the role of technology in social and economic development of women in Africa. And then I started seeing the figures. The figures were abysmal. Women's access to technology was so low. Women working in tech was so low. Women building tech was so low. Women involved in policy around tech was so low. And I started to ask why. And it was in asking those questions that I realized that there are a lot of biases that shape, what young girls consider as career options. There's a lot of stereotyping that helps to influence a lot of girls and women away from sciences, because women and girls can do sciences, they can do maths. But when you are continually told that, oh, maths is hard, don't worry about it anyway. Your husband is going to be the breadwinner, just do something easy so you can finish school. Those things shape your thinking. And so I started to really look at the research and look into what could be done about it. And some things came up: start early, introduce girls to tech early, and even games that involve logic, analysis, have like spaces where girls can be free to learn and experiment about tech. Because really the way you learn, whether it's in tech, science, anything, you try something, you make a mistake, it doesn't work out, you learn, okay, not to do that again, and then you try something else. So I realized the importance of having those safe spaces for girls. And because I went to a girls only school, I really felt there was a value in having those spaces. That's really how I started doing what I'm doing now.
I mean, I can totally relate to that, because I remember I started my own journey because my mom decided to give me a laptop. And I know, like, I always attribute why I am today because I got that laptop. And she just like, you know what, I'm going to get you a laptop. I think it was my year 1 in university. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, cool. And, I remember just getting 90% of the opportunities I've had today just pressing my laptop, even though she would shout and scream every time you're pressing laptop. But I'm like, yeah, but like I'm making a lot of money just because I was pressing laptop now. And I think it's actually incredibly important that they get engaged very early. Okay, let's move on. I feel we're having a really good conversation, but it's also taking a bit of time. Okay. I guess this goes to Dr. Loretta, and this is basically also maybe around Elevate. What challenges did you face starting up Elevate? Like, what are the main issues that you had to overcome to bring this idea to life?
The importance that women play in society can never be overemphasized. In Africa, 1 in 4 women own or manage a business. And the population in Ghana, we are about 50% women. And so women are also doing a lot in education. They are now blazing the trail. When it comes to the health sector, women are there. Technology. But there is a gap when it comes to financial inclusion. Where do they get money to do or to even harness all their ideas into business opportunities? And that is how come we came about the Elevate Desk, to say that let us be intentional to handhold women entrepreneurs, to say that if you need any support, because women want more access to information, women will take their time to even take decisions and even assess risk. Unlike a man who just jump in, oh, I need a loan, and today he gets it and the business is expanding and he's growing. But the woman will analyze it, take her time and all that. And so when we started, you realize that you will talk and still, are you sure? You even say, we are giving discounted prices when it comes to interest rates. Oh, is it true? You will tell entrepreneurs, we are opening accounts at no cost to you because we want you to use our digital solutions, embrace them, and encourage your customers to pay you through your GHQR or your code that will generate for you. It's like, oh, women are conservative. We don't embrace change like our other colleague. And so if we are saying that we want to ensure equity and equality, then this is where we need to step up to say, yes, we can, and we can embrace the change. And yes, we need to be bold, to be accessible, to have what is on the table. But if we keep pushing, I don't want, oh, let me do my thing in a small way. Women need to stand up and scale up. And so if today we are having this conversation, I'm urging everyone on the call to be bold, to take up the step to scale up, to embrace technology, to embrace change. Because if we are preaching about change, if we are preaching about equality and equity, then that change starts with us. And we need that conscious effort to say, it starts with me, and I want to embrace it. So those are the challenges, embracing the concept, to even say that there is a desk specifically for women-owned, women-focused business. Come and participate. That is a challenge. Now we know we have no excuse. And so let's go and even be preachers of the word to say that I have heard about Elevate by EcoBank. It is accessible in any EcoBank affiliate, EcoBank Nigeria, EcoBank Global, wherever EcoBank is present. It is also available in any branch that is closer to you. So in Ghana, all the 64 branches that you see around you, you can just walk in to say, I've heard about Elevate by EcoBank initiative and I want to be part. I will leave my number in the chat room. Just call. I'm a phone call away. If you need support to scale up, to move your business to the next level, just reach out and let's do it together. Because you could see that still are men who are even women focused, who are employing more females, are still taking up the initiative and coming on board to scale up. What are we waiting for?
I think, I find that really interesting, actually. And I think this also plays to Oreoluwa's issues about how, or point actually, about how you need to start early. And I don't know how this plays into Elevate, but what is coming to my mind is universities. Because I remember when I was in school, like, I was more open to the, whatever conversations was happening there and how to, create your world or build your empire or whatever. And at that age, I'm less conservative. I'm conservative now because I'm a little old, but I'm 20, 18, right? Like, what problems do I have, right? Knowing at that age, I don't know, I feel like it might be much more impactful for the younger girls to start seeing themselves in the light of, you can get a bank loan to start a business, right? Instead of sitting down waiting to get married.
Yeah, so we're not limited. It's true.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you. We are not limiting it to the matured ones. We are saying
exactly.
That, and even this quarter, we are starting an initiative to say, if you have not even formalized your business yet, because on the internet and various Instagram, other pages, we see that they are into business, but they have not even formalized or registered their businesses.
Yes.
So what we are doing is, come on board. This first quarter, we will assist you to formalize your business.
Exactly.
Because we might not even have the time and the know-how to go through the business registration processes. Come on board. We will help you register, open an account for you to start from there. And that is the name, Elevate, growth, from one level to another. So at the university level, you are doing business, you come on board, and then we see that growth consistently
as you grow. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Dr. Karen, because this also sort of goes to you. What challenges have you faced so far in trying as much as possible to pass this information across, bridge the information gap when it comes to women's health?
Thanks for the question. So first of all, in Ghana, there aren't too many obstetricians and gynecologists. So I'm mainly into women's health. The space hasn't been occupied by women. It's lately that there have been lots of women coming on board. So there's always been this bias where they want the old man, the male figure, to give the information, because men are considered to be figures of authority. So if the information is coming from them, then it's like good information. But gradually that bias is being broken. So it's been interesting entering the space, especially like in practices where the faces have been known to be men, and then now there's a woman. So first of all, that bias has been one of my challenges. Then when it comes to giving out information, women are suppressed generally. That's the reality. We're not allowed to be assertive. We're not supposed to want to know more about our own bodies. We're not supposed to express too much about our bodies. So the challenges that I face come from both sides. The side where entering the digital space is like there's some things you can't say, there's some words you can't use about a woman's body. But gradually, I see that the community that I'm building is accepting and realizing that women are allowed to feel empowered about their bodies. We're allowed to feel the way we want to feel. We're allowed to be able to express ourselves. So people coming up with all these myths and stuff, if you look back, it looks like myths are things like health myths, for example. There are things that people generate because of the lack of knowledge, and also because they don't want people to explore their own bodies. So challenges both ways. These are some of the challenges I face. I'm not going to go back to medical school where there were biases also towards females, and even during my training, because that's like, it's a very emotional thing for me, even in terms of patients wanting or preferring males to take care of them, and the utterances and the belief that men probably know more of the stuff than women. So I will generally not go into that. Maybe we'll save that for another platform. But I can totally relate with all the other speakers, all that they've said. It cuts across no matter the sphere you find yourself in. And I'm glad that we've been able to navigate and get out of it all. Yeah.
Wow. I'm so sorry that you have had to go through that. I can only imagine, what it must have been like in those male-dominated spaces, trying to navigate. I personally do not like seeing a man when I walk into a gynecologist. No. That for me, it's, yeah. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. Should I leave? I think I want to leave.
Things are changing now, I guess. And
yeah. And I personally feel like you are like the only gynecologist I know in Ghana, right? Everywhere I've walked into, it's a man. It's a man. Like, do I really want to do this? Does my body need to be checked?
There are a few of us.
But yes, I am also hearing about women that are, just going through medical school and using that as their specialty. And I'm always like, yeah, go girl, go girl. Yeah, so thank you so much for that response. And thank you for sharing. I know it wasn't very easy for you to have shared the biases that you must have faced in your career as a doctor, but I'm very grateful that you shared that with us. And let's move on to something a little bit happy, right? Success stories all around the block. Right. Kiki, what is your your baby, like the one thing that you're like, I'm so glad that this was a success? We can't hear you. Are you muted? I think you might be muted.
All right.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Sorry, my computer was. So yeah, I had an idea that politics needed politics in Africa, especially needed like a special focus on women, and it was such a rough idea. And I've spoken to a couple of people about it. It was, oh, you and women. You already have document women, tag journal. But I put it together and we applied for a Google Accelerator program. And we got it. We got selected. Because it's a good idea, isn't it?
Yes.
Because women should be a huge part of politics. That's my new agenda. Like, I've lived 30 years on this earth. Like, every decade I have like an agenda that I want to push. The next 10 years is women politics. I'm not a politician. I don't see myself going into politics, but I want to ensure that there is more women that go into politics. So I think that has been my biggest baby for, like, my biggest achievement, I think. 10
Congratulations.
times. Thank you
Congratulations.
so
Like,
much.
you deserve like the confetti and everything. Just
Yep. Yeah. So, right. I mean, some other things you guys must have read online, but if you're just coming across with me for the first time, I'm excited that you've just learned about me. From the slide, it showed that I'm an Emmy-nominated investigative journalist. When I got into radio, I never imagined myself getting anything more than the local awards in Edo State at the time. But over the years, I found myself winning things like, an MTV awards, an Emmy nomination, these huge awards that I couldn't dream about. And yeah, these have been my biggest success stories over the years.
I said, did you see the competitions that people were showing at you?
I saw that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is amazing. And you're doing amazing work, as well as all the other panelists, and you deserve 100% all your accolades. Oreoluwa.
All right. Honestly, I think my success story is really seeing our beneficiaries thrive. The girls and the women who come to W.TEC and attend one of our programs, whether it's our camp, our residential camp that we have every August, or whether it's the after-school clubs that we run in different schools across the country, or whether it's our program for women entrepreneurs, really seeing the difference between before they came to W.TEC or participated in one of our programs and afterwards. For a lot of the girls, it's that their minds are opened up about the possibilities for them, the career possibilities, and that they could do tech or they could do STEM. Like I mentioned, a lot of the girls do not even consider those kind of careers because it's just not, it has just not been in their realm of possibility, or maybe not within their families. So seeing them now say, oh, you know what, I think I could do this. And whether they do in the end or not, I think that part is immaterial. But the fact that their minds are opened up, they have new possibilities that they can consider. But so last week I was on our WhatsApp group. We have a WhatsApp group for our alumni, and we got a new influx of members, and they were sharing, what they do. And so one young lady said, oh, I'm a cybersecurity analyst. Another woman said, oh, I'm a computer engineer. Someone else said, oh, I'm a doctor. Someone else said, I'm a lawyer focused on intellectual property. And it was just, and they all attributed, they're going into these spaces because of the interaction with W.TEC. So even though not everyone is going to go into tech, not everyone is going to science or engineering, they're doing more than they thought was possible for them. And they're being connected to other young women and older women who are doing incredible things. And so they realize that truly the sky is the limit for them. And I think for me, that's really the success story.
I think that's amazing. I can't even imagine how many girls that you've trained or gone through your programs in the past 15 years. Like that if you have a number, that would be great. But if not, like, I can just imagine in my head, even if it's 10 girls a month. I can
like 41,000 girls, women.
41,000.
Yeah, well, 15 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Please, you should put a link to W.TEC in case like people in the audience that have nieces that are just like kids that are, I do know I have a friend who puts up boys in this what's it called, AI, I can't remember what it's called, machine learning something. So like, and that's like they're boys, and she takes them there, and I can just imagine if I had like a niece or something, just knowing that they can come to W.TEC for like a training, anything, to be honest, on a Saturday afternoon. It's not like they're doing anything productive. Okay, so moving on. Dr. Loretta, please give us a success story. I know you have one of the women from your Elevate decks on the call. I think this would be an amazing opportunity for her to just tell us how exactly the entire experience has been for her.
Yes, so Vivian, I throw the invitation to you. You have the floor now. Before I come in to wrap up.
Okay, thank you so much, and congratulations to all the women on the platform. My name is Vivian Kwashi. I work with Focus Hospital, and I would just like to talk about our CEO, who is our own Florence Nightingale. Her name is Dr. Irene Wolf, and what she's doing with us here at Focus, we are blessed to have a female CEO, and who is really bridging the gap. And she's big on quality and training, and she's leading quality and training in Ghana, making sure that young medical professionals get the needed postgraduate training that they have to, especially in the area of anesthesia, which is her specialty, and then also in the area of orthopedics, which is one of the major specialties of the Focus Hospital. She's also very big on quality. She, during the few years that she has led the hospital, she has, aggressively worked towards quality accreditation by the Joint Commission International. And her passion is to just make sure that quality healthcare is spread across all health facilities in Ghana. What she really wants is that, if you are in the northern part of Ghana, in Tamale, for example, and you fall ill, you shouldn't wish that you were in Accra. You should be able to get that same excellent quality healthcare everywhere. And she's really working to push that. Here at Focus, Focus is an equal opportunity employer. We have women in a lot of women in leadership positions here at the hospital, and for us, we believe that women should be able to pursue their passion and goals without hindrance and be able to make a mark. And we should also, whilst making the mark, we should also nurture our younger ones so that that torch can be passed on from generation to generation. If we make all this noise and all this talk about women elevation and equality and everything, and then 10 years down the line, our younger ones do not continue it or make it better, then we haven't done a good job. So as women, we should take up that responsibility and make sure that the younger women, that are coming up, feel the same way. They are thinking like us, and be able to carry that torch on and on and on. Just like the other speaker who is in the tech training, is doing, and then has trained over 21,000 women. That's so amazing, so amazing. Okay, so thank you very much. And then lastly, women, we should take care of ourselves. You can have all the passion, but if you don't have good health, you cannot pursue anything. We should take care of ourselves. We should stop and rest. The key word is stop and rest, because you can just keep going and going and going and going and going. Stop and rest. Take care of yourself. Have a network like what we are doing here. Talk to other women, and discuss your anxieties and frustrations. And don't be alone. We're never created to be an island. And just make sure that you are networking. And getting ideas, and also eat well as well. Eat well. Have portion control. When you get your Ghana jollof, don't overdo it because it's your favorite. Just make sure that you have a good portion control. Eat at regular meal times, and then just live a good healthy life, and then you can be able to pursue all the the goals and all the things that you have laid out for yourself, in good health, and you can be able to enjoy it as well. At the end of the day, you'll be very excellent, and others will look up to you. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Very much. And so this is what is our success story has been: partnering with Focus, partnering with mPharma, Multi, to really bring satisfaction to customers to partner with them to give them the financial and then the non-financial support. This is one of our non-financial support, partnering with Muti, for example, to do this talk today. So it's been an amazing journey for us. We have, and in Ghana, we are proud to say that, not even in Ghana, in most of the affiliates, we control the market share when it comes to women-owned, women-focused businesses. And EcoBank, you know how well we are doing in the industry. And the joy and satisfaction that comes to us is seeing even the younger and the startups growing, you know, each year, sharing their stories to say, I started with EcoBank, I got the needed financial and even non-financial support. Because we realize there's not even only money that is needed to grow businesses. Sometimes knowing how to even separate operating capital from working capital is important, you know, letting them know that don't receive cash, but be on the digital platform so that monies that don't come to you, you don't even spend. Because it's linked directly to your account, we see it and we are able to assess that cash flow and give you the needed financial support. That alone is the success story that we want to see and continue seeing, that women are embracing the challenge and the change by accepting technology and the digital utilization to grow and scale up their businesses. It's been an amazing journey. We look up to all of you getting on board onto the Elevate initiative, and for all of you to tell a sister and another to come on board so that together we will see what we desire, the equality and the equity we want to have in our world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, thank you, Vivian. It's amazing to have seen somebody who's actually benefited from the Elevate program on the call. Before we go to Dr. Karen, I just want to remind everybody that you can share questions on the chat section. There are also a lot of information about the different amazing platforms that these women have developed on the chat section. I'm also going to try and round up in a few minutes, even though I really wanted us to discuss more, but I also feel like we've been here a while. So I will start to round up once Dr. Karen goes. So Dr. Karen, your success story, please.
So just to speak briefly, my success story is it's an ongoing process. So the dream basically is to see women be in their best state of health, and not just be in their best state of health, but to be aware of the changes that go on with their body, what to expect and how to navigate the journey. For every woman that I see who comes to me, has her baby or achieves whatever she wants when she comes for her gynae checkup or with her gynae problem, seeing her walk away with a solution or at least a better understanding of what's going on with her is actually what I consider my success story. So my patients and clients' happiness is my success story, because after all, that's the legacy that I can hold up to. So basically, seeing that smile, that satisfaction achieved, good health achieved, or the knowledge or information they've sought out from me being available is what makes me happy. On a larger scale, I think breaking into this space, I've only just started, but I am seeing the impacts really. People have discovered things about themselves that have been corrected. For example, like they find out they have possibly some cancers which can actually be cured. They've heard a message from me, so they get checked and they have their cervical screening, for example. So all those are the little things that I consider. It might not be like a firework success story, but in this small little space, yes, it's what brings me joy. So yes, that's basically how I feel about my success story in this space. I'm inspired by all the stories that I've heard, and there are so many more amazing stories out there, not necessarily women in formal spaces. The success of those women in the informal spaces also amazes me so much. And I just imagine, like, if they had the opportunities that should have been available to them, they would have done so much more than they're currently doing now. So all these initiatives from all the other speakers and other people in the spheres, it really just excites me. Like, I've been taking notes and smiling all throughout and listening to like all these amazing things that Kiki is saying, Dr. Loretta, and with your innovation with STEM. I'm going to check out. Am I pronouncing properly? Oreoluwa. I'm so excited. Like I'm like 51,000 STEM participants, like girls trained. So it's so amazing. We're all doing so well in our own little ways, and I love to celebrate all that. So it's amazing. I'm sure people in the audience also have amazing success stories and things they are doing, and I would love to hear more about everybody's success stories. So hopefully people reach out and we can share the stories and things.
Okay, you have to share where your practice is at in Tema. Maybe even I will visit. Please let us know.
Okay, I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah. I feel like I want to put this out to the entire audience. Should we continue or should we round up? If you want us to continue, raise your hand. You use the hand raising thing. Oh wow, that's a lot of hands. Okay. All right.
Some of us have not eaten though.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's round up. We try to do more of these things in the future. So let's go to the questions. There are some questions on the chat. I'm going to read them out and sort of assign people to respond to them. So the first question, do you find any gender bias even in the digital following? And I think this might be to Dr. Karen and maybe Kiki also, because I know both of you have very strong online presence. And what has that been? Have you experienced some? Of course you have. What am I going to say? You probably have, but tell us about it. If you'd like.
Okay.
Anybody can go first. Anybody is fine.
Oh yes, absolutely. There's a whole report about it. It doesn't help that I'm a journalist. There's a report about how female journalists are more susceptible to various forms of online bias. News not something people waiting to confirm from a male journalist before they accept what I tweet as facts. Things like that. So what's the question? How do I
let me see it again.
handle it?
The question is, do you find any gender bias even in your digital following?
I do find a lot of gender bias, and I mean my job is able to seek it out on behalf of other people. So it's very easy for me to recognize gender bias in the digital space.
So you may give us a little tip on how you manage it, because I know you probably get a lot of backlash. Like I saw the backlash you got for sex for grades.
Yes.
And I'm like, this girl, you must be made of iron because it must be all I'm just going to cry somewhere.
I might not have the exact way to handle it, because many of the things that I've read online, there's been studies that have recently debunked those. Studies from Harvard, students have been coming up with studies to debunk. Sometimes, especially the thing about people saying ignore the trolls. But a person with an agenda or a person with a paid propaganda machine, you ignoring it doesn't make it go away. It just simply reinforces it. So while I might not have the exact steps on how to handle it, one thing I must tell you is you must protect yourself and your mental space. I think people seem to underestimate how much effect this has on our psyche. Just because it's not physical violence doesn't mean violence isn't happening. So whenever you find yourself getting hurt, it's not anything to be ashamed of. Take a step back and go seek help. The help could be professional help. It could be help from your community. I have a community, a very strong community that I have built for a very long time, of women who will wake up and go to war on my behalf. Like, I feel so lucky and privileged to have that. I think maybe because they also know that I will go to war on their behalf. So whenever I feel like it's too much, I just go. We go have a picnic or something. We talk on the phone. We FaceTime each other. One time, my friend and I, we just opened up a Google Meet link, and we're having we were just doing our day together because we're in 2 different countries. So yeah, just find your support system. It could be family as well. Just find them and lean into them in times of extreme hurt. But other than that, you also need to keep reinforcing your truth. Don't erase yourself, or don't find yourself getting silenced because people are coming at you every day. Go back and reinforce your truth. Just because you've called out a corrupt politician and people are coming at you, do what you can to mute and block and protect your space. Go back and reinforce your truth. You're not a liar, and you will never be tagged a liar. Like, posterity needs to remember you as a woman who took up space. So yeah, that's my personal advice for, just fighting gender bias in the digital space.
What about Dr. Karen? What's it been like for you?
So in the physical space, not digitally, during training as a medical student, and then during my residency training, I've already mentioned about the gender biases where women feel, or the people you're attending to feel like men are the authority figures, so they would rather prefer a male. And it was even worse during, so there are also the racial and gender biases, so that was like a lot. But I realized that despite these biases and I call it oppression that happens, finding your true authentic self, knowing who you are, and seeking out to give out the best you can, eventually your light will shine bright. So there's no way you can be hidden if you're doing what you know you should do. So the biases will be there because there is already a cultural inclination for us to seek validation from men. Men have always been the authority figures. They have been the decision makers. And in some societies, even though women are the kingmakers, the men still have to give the full thumb to say, yes, go ahead. So it's more from a cultural standpoint where there's this sort of bias, but gradually it's getting better. But I must say that in the digital space, the community that I built was a community for women. I haven't actually faced a lot of bias. The women in the community have actually been very, very supportive. So like even with mPharma, collaboration with mPharma's, it's been a woman who has reached out. People have given me ideas. So finding a space, just like what Kiki said, find your people, find your tribe. You're always going to face some sort of opposition. There's always going to be that bias, but you need to find a community or a niche and continue to be your true authentic self. I'm very quirky, I know. That's me. It's my true authentic self. There's no other way I can be. And it comes to a little bit of humor. If you find that you are a serious person, find your tribe, find the people who understand you. Don't try to change your stripes. Just be yourself. It's going to get better. 5 years ago was different from women. Now it's a different story. It's going to get better and better, but we need to band together and keep moving forward. That's very important. No matter what, let's band together, let's hold hands and be a force to reckon with.
Thank you. Thank you. I guess you guys are taking notes on that, right? Have your community, have your tribe, get help if you need it, take time for your health, I guess. Very important. I guess this next question is to the speakers that have kids, literally. And the question says, to the speakers, will women ever cross the barrier associated with motherhood and work? Some women intentionally delay childbirth to make room for more working hours. Well, I wouldn't say it's to just women, not that I read the question properly, to women who have kids, but like, who would like to answer this? I'm not going to choose anybody. Anybody that's comfortable answering this, please unmute yourself and just share with us a little nugget.
No, repeat the question, the last bit of it.
Okay, so it says that women, sorry, I sort of pulled away from it. Some women intentionally delay childbirth to make room for more working hours, to work more.
So it depends on what you want as an individual, okay, and the need to balance it. For me, balancing everything that we do, it's great because I want to have it all. I want to be the best mom in the world, the best wife, the best worker. I want it all. But you need to be intentional to say that at this point, this is what I'm doing and this is what I want to achieve. I have 3 kids. 12, 11, and 10. The first two even share the same date of birth, 12 February 2011 and then 12 February 2012. So it means that when I resumed work on the 4th month, I was already pregnant.
Oh, wow.
The second one. You decide what you want. And I started my PhD program when I was on maternity leave with my 3rd child.
Oh.
And sometimes I'll just carry her in a crib, you know, be doing assignments and all that. So it depends on what you want to achieve at any point in time. And we need to be intentional and deliberate. For me, there is nothing like giving excuses to say, I'm a nursing mother and I can't do this. And I don't like that. So if it means that you need help to help you at home, find it. Get a supportive system and build your life around it so that you can function well as a career woman, as a mother, as a wife. So, and it's having it all is possible. You need great supportive systems. You need to pray, you need to plan. So you plan, you prepare, you deliver, you know. And so it is important that we all need to do this, but achieving it all is possible and it's doable. You just need to plan, prepare, and pray. The 3 P's in life that you cannot go wrong with.
I mean, I guess it's very important to say that if this is what you truly, really want, it is possible to have it. If that's what you really want, it is possible. But again, like I always say this to my friends and people around me, there are infinite possibilities, there are infinite ways to exist in this world, right? And just as Dr. Loretta said, you need to find what you truly want. Sometimes you might have to give up some things, but you need to also sort of know, right? I'm okay not eating like Kiki Mordi so that I can be at this webinar.
I would just like to add that I think that it also shows that fathers, you know, the fathers also need to be more present. Yeah, because a lot of times we see parenting as mothering.
What's sort of? I think our internet so went off for a minute there. Kiki, I see your hands are up. Some other people, their hands are up. Sorry, before you go on, if you want to add to this conversation, just because we don't have a lot of time, it would be great if you typed it in, right, so that we can all read it. Like Akoso, I see your hand is up, and a few other people, their hands are up. So, Blessing, your hand is also up. Please type your responses in the chat. I will try and read some of them out, but I'm only going to give the speakers chances to actually unmute and speak.
I absolutely was just going to say what she said. My hands were up right before she was speaking. This is just the call to action to the men. Exactly. Fatherhood is part of parenting, an equal part of parenting, and equality should cut across board. There is a lot of productivity that is lost when a woman takes the sacrifice to go into parenting that allows for the man to accelerate in his career. That is not, and that same opportunity is not offered to women. I think that a part of equality is also taking up some of that burden as a man. You can't claim to be pro-equality, or you can't claim to be a feminist ally and you still uphold gender roles in your homes. That support system might as well just be, the partner that you married, the person who decided to do life and forever with you. That is the number one support system, if I must add. Yeah, that's what I was going to add.
I wouldn't even call it an aunt or cousin when I was growing up, who wanted, like, she was a doctor, wanted to get a PhD. She was like, yeah, you have a dad. You go to daddy, and I guess that sort of makes sense. And that's the point of a partnership, right? Where both of you can figure out a way to have the lives that each of you want in a way that is, fulfilling and all encompassing. Yeah. Okay, Oreoluwa, you broke off a little bit, but do you want to finish what you were saying? Did she break off again? I think she might have broken off again. Okay, so, well, I guess this last question was also to her, which is, why is it important to take gender concerns into account in program design and implementation? I don't know who's going to answer this, but I think I also have a little point on that. I mean, I think that's because it's easy for you to omit women, right? Just to go off what Dr. Loretta said, women are extremely conservative. So there's a good chance that when you're designing that program, it also fits into what a woman could benefit from, what anybody could benefit from. But if you're not intentional about getting the women also involved through the design process, you could find out at the end of the day that your women participations are very low. And that's not because they're not interested. It's just like you said, they're socially, what's the word? What's the word? Is it socially, I can't remember. Socially brought up or socially taught to behave a certain way that makes it harder for us to recognize opportunities that could be great for us. But if there's anybody else that wants to respond, like now is a good time to go ahead. No? Okay, we move on. We move. So before we go into final remarks, actually, let's go into final remarks. Edith, I know Edith is on the call. Edith is the global head of e-commerce at mPharma. She is the, what I say? Yeah, she is the queen of Muti over here. King, I don't know how do you put it. It's our effort that make today possible because she's like consistently pushing everybody on a team to like get the support that they need to be able to achieve the goals that they've set for themselves. At least I and my team, Regina and Jennifer and Anita, we're very grateful to have a boss like her. And I'd like her to give the closing remark on mPharma's behalf, and then Dr. Loretta can give for Elevate, and then we'll figure out who our giveaway winners are. Okay.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Ferami. It has really been amazing. I had to come in a little later because I was caught up in another call, but I wish I had come in right from the beginning because it has just been amazing. There's no other way to describe this session today. And I think really the call to action now for us is how do we make sure that the conversations don't end here? How do we make sure people keep hearing about things that, for instance, Kiki is doing or Dr. Karen is doing, Elevate, Oreoluwa? How do we make sure that these conversations move beyond this particular webinar? And I think, for me, that's probably going to be the next thing you think about, really, as to how we make this a reality. But I really appreciate every single person, from our speakers to everyone else who's made it here. One thing I would like to leave us with is it's really a quote from one of the books I've enjoyed reading recently. It's by a lady known as Indra Nooyi. She was the former CEO of PepsiCo, first female CEO of PepsiCo. And she talks a lot about how she could not have succeeded without the support of family. But then one other thing that she highlights is just her sheer determination and will to push through. And so I'd just like to leave us with that thought because it's definitely going to get tough from what we've heard. It doesn't get easier with the more impact you make. It even gets harder. So are we going to push through, or is it just going to be, oh, I once helped 21,000 girls? Are we going to cross 100,000? And at mPharma, that is very, very important to us, just pushing through because we have over 200,000 women who are registered as Muti members out of our 400,000. Now about 600,000. That represents over 50% of women across 13 African countries who are trusting Muti with their health. Even on a transactional level, you have close to 70% of all transactions performed by women. Women are taking the lead in making sure that their households are in good health. And so the question I'd like us to keep in mind as we move forward is, would we have the determination and will to move beyond the success that we have achieved as of now? On that note, thanks a lot, Ferami, and back to you.
Thank you. Dr. Loretta, do you want to give us one last comment before we announce our winners?
Thank you very much for all of us gathered here today. We want to assure you that the Elevate program will continue to evolve as businesses evolve. and will provide you with all the value-added support to enable your businesses grow faster, go further, and remain resilient. It is said that for every successful woman, there is a tribe of other successful women who have her back. And when women support each other, incredible things do happen. So let us go out there supporting one another. And for me, I would say that this is the beginning of great things to come as we extend both financial and non-financial support for every business to be elevated from one level to another. So I would say here is to women who are brave, resilient, and unapologetically themselves. Here is to strong women. May we know them, and may we be them, and may we raise them. And here is to women who are cracking the code, and to even men who are all embracing equality and equity. I wish us all a happy Women's Day filled with joy and laughter. Thank you very much, and join the Elevate Initiative. I've shared the contacts and the link in the chat box. Do reach out and let's grow together. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time. Kiki, I appreciate your time. Dr. Karen, Dr. Loretta, Oreoluwa, I think she dropped off. I can't even say how grateful I am. I know I reached out to you guys really late, like a week ago or so. But like, I'm just grateful that you made the time out. And thank you so much. I'm sending you a little gift tomorrow. Sorry. The Nigerian in me sort of popped out by there, but thank you so much. And you should be getting them by tomorrow. So for the audience now, everybody gets something, like everybody has a chance to get something. You know, Musi tries to, we try our best. So we are gonna announce 3 winners from Nigeria and from Ghana that get to receive a self-care box from us also. I see a lot of hands being raised. I don't know what's happening. Please, can you just type your questions, whatever it is that you want to say on the chat, just so that things don't run too long. We are a little bit over time. So for Ghana, let's start off. Are you guys ready? I don't know if you're actually here, but let me stop presenting and move to our window. So. Okay, so these are the people who followed all our instructions and also went ahead to join the webinar. I think there are about 9 names, and I think this is for Ghana. These are Ghana people, right? So we're gonna spin the wheel, just so that you know that this is not biased. Like, we not just pick our friends. That's why. So these are the people that whoever wins this are our winners. So I think Miss K, you get a giveaway from us. Let me see. Well, so let's do it again. So we have Miss KK, sorry. We have Sandra Kelly. Congratulations. You also get a giveaway from us. And finally, we have no, not Miss K. Miss K already won for it. No, let's do it again. Miss K, I guess your vibration is strong, of course. Thank God. Miss Gloria. So we got Miss K, Miss KK, Miss Gloria, and Sandra Kelly. They are winners from Ghana. So we'll be reaching out to you guys on social media to sort of get your details and to send you the items. So let's go for Nigeria now. Let's load it up. Wow, Nigerian winners. We have less people in Nigeria. You guys didn't follow our instructions. And it was simple. It was very simple. Okay. Let's see. Who are winners? We have Alima. Wait. Okay, Alima Ikoyi. Congratulations. Let's see who else. Oreoluwa Owolabi. Congratulations also. One more person. Mary Joy Ene Adu. So those are winners. Thank you so much for joining. I can't see my name. Oh, wow. Did you see it? Sorry, did you see it? Oh, wow. We have people that... Oh, wow. Guys, so what we did is we tried to get the people who followed all the rules, but I guess some of you guys, your names didn't come up as we were checking. Okay. That's the thing, right? So just to make this fair, and I'm sorry I'm taking everybody's time, but we want to make it very fair. If you are on this call and you didn't see your name, please type it. We'll do it again. Right. Faith Garba, are you in Nigeria or Ghana? Yeah, everybody, like, if you're not supposed to win this giveaway, you can't go. You can't go. This is for the giveaway winners. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate everybody joining us. And just so that we don't take everybody's time, our speakers can leave. Anybody who's not really interested in the giveaway can also leave so that we'll ash out our giveaway winners on the side. Again, I truly appreciate everybody's time. I hope this was very informative. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys. We'll be sending out some communications in the future very soon just to see what we can do to follow through. But thank you so much. So now I'm going to go to the giveaway people now. But yeah, thank you. So let me see. So I can see names are coming in. Okay, you guys share your names. You need to also tell me where you are from so that I know what session you're going to be in. I'm Nigeria, I follow all the instructions. Okay. No, it's not that I'm interested though. Tell me, it's people who follow the instructions. It's people who follow the instructions. We're very clear, right? So if you follow the instructions, okay. Right. So tell me, it's not for you. You just came now. Luis Papanko. Okay, I think, did we say Luis Papanko on our list? Luis Papanko, did you follow us? Like, we have a list of everybody, so I'm going to double check if you're on our list. We can't be partial about this. Like, people who actually put in effort to win this. So Tolu Alde, Aminat, who else? Please, can you check Temi Ayomi for me? She said she's here, but she's also, I'm not sure. So let's just check everybody else. Who else? Okay. All right, so we can give, is that everybody? Can we start again? Okay, so should I start? I just want to make sure everybody, because if I do it, I'm not going to do it another time. This is just going to be it. All right. We're starting again. Everybody gets a new chance to win. Everybody that hasn't seen, everybody that wasn't on the, because we have people that joined us that we didn't add. So we're gonna start again. We're gonna add everybody again. I'm just waiting so that everybody has included their names and we're not like mixing people up. But this is gonna be the final time. So if you don't share your names right now, yeah, it's just not gonna, that's not gonna be in the running. Okay. Okay, so what's name? Christiana. Lucky Dia, please share your name. Blessing. Okay, I guess Blessing, is that your Instagram name too? Okay, so Ademola Kinto, I did see yours, so that's you have to give us a little bit of time so that we just do this correctly. Yeah, can you share your Instagram handles, please? If I can't seem to find it. Lucy Panko, okay, that's on IG. Busayomi. Lucy Panko, are you in Nigeria or Ghana? Ghana, okay. Do me a favor, can you add it? All the people that are in Ghana that have said their names are in Ghana, add them to the registered section. Temitope, is this your Instagram name? Baby Cakes. T-all, okay. T-all. Okay, while we're doing that, I'm going to play some music so that everything is not boring. I'm going to play Ashake just because we had a great show. Just give us a few minutes. We'll assign everything so that we'll be able to do it properly.
I say like a pine tropicana. Me, I just take the marijuana. The one at party, come on, Ghana. Ondo go blando for me, we are going to go down. You got to give up. Me, I don't just when that's in Congo. I don't know. See my team that blow me feeders. And me at least it's not you. Because my body, my head, big.
Okay, so we have for Ghana ready. So we're going to do Ghana first. Ghana people. Everybody's name here. Are we missing anybody? Can you see? Can you see your name? No problem. So I'm gonna spin it now. Okay, all right. So for Ghana, we have, let's see. Now I'm beginning to think that this thing is a bit, because this Miss K Alpha, Miss K Alpha expensive. Even when we increase the thing, okay, so Miss KK again. I guess your luck. Who else? Betty. I'm sorry, so it's not Betty. Amdia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly, but congratulations. And then one more person. Adwa Love. Congratulations, guys. Again, we'll be sending everybody's Akoswa, did you see your name? I don't know. I hope so. Okay, cool. All right. So congratulations, you guys. So we're gonna do for Nigeria in a few minutes. And then we'll be in touch via DMs, mPharma's at mPharma's. Okay? All right. Don't. Okay.
It's in my mouth. I swear I know good dog. I know good dog. I swear I know good dog. Shabby, I swear I know good dog. I know good dog. I swear I know good dog. It's in my mouth. I swear I know good dog. I know good dog. See my star shine like a diamond. People saw the diamond. Let's see. I don't reckon diamond. People allow it to juggle. But the best I was stubborn. But them on baby. I'm not joking, I'm a dance them know me. Since so sweet, I've been writing this story. And the beauty, but if you ask them know me. I'm the beauty, so you know you know. You know me, just go this and talk me. I get to me because I'm never lonely. Sexy lady, don't make me slowly. See my way. I feel the right at the same time. Go back to the over. I'm not going to far. Who's in the boat that is that's how I think we should die. But I'm not going to far. Never weak, I never cease. Eternity, I'm on fire. I let the sleep when I die. The family is for life. Then would that be? Go bless, then go die. Then go say, then go say, then don't go. Let's this song. Glory.
This everybody. Let's do this way. No, we don't have time. Okay, so let's do for Nigeria. So you guys sent a lot of messages to us and it's just difficult to track. So I'm going to put it here. If you don't see your name, now is the time to talk. In case we missed out some extra people. Can you see? So these are the names we have now. But in case we miss somebody's name, please just like indicate again so that we put it. Joy, we're not yet in Kenya, but we're on our way. Okay, what's us? All right, I'll add that. Temi also, okay. Okay. So all you guys, your name is in there. Okay, I'm just gonna add AA. AA, are you the same person as Adedamola? Or Adedamola Akintoku is different from AA. I think it's different. I'm just gonna add it from here. Who else? Omalade, Tulualade, Fitzgaruba. Temi, okay, what's the name? Pasar over the dosas. CEO. Yeah, I put it as AA. Adedamola CEO. Okay. So I think that's everybody. All right. So I'm going to spin the wheel now so we can all get back to our day. Okay. You guys ready? Okay. All right. Fingers crossed. Okay, so the first winner is Oluwatimileni, First Lady. Okay, let's go again. And then we also have Fuki, sorry. It's like his mommy Aku, sorry. Mommy Aku, congratulations. And then finally, I don't know if you know that. But yeah, congratulations. So that's all our winners. We'll be in touch via DMs. Thank you guys for staying back. Thank you for participating in the giveaway. We try to do giveaways as often as we can. So just be on the page. Another one is gonna happen, right? Thank you guys so much and happy International Women's Day, everybody. Have a lovely evening. Bye.